How's it going, everybody? Ryebread here today, and we are back with our Toronto Maple Leafs franchise mode, and we're here in round number 2, going up against the New York Islanders as they toppled the Tampa Bay Lightning in round number 1, which I was super happy about after we beat the Ottawa Senators in 5 games. Now, I was just looking through the points here as I was just putting around just before I got the video stuff all set up, and I was looking at the plus-minus. So noticing some minus players, so I went ahead and sorted by plus-minus, and it looks like Travis Dermott and Jay Bouwmeester are really not helping out the team. Now, I know Kadri, Tatar, and Frolik are all minuses, but I think that's just a stem of that defensive pairing. I don't think Travis Dermott is quite ready to be in the playoffs right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and make a change here. I know, why mess with the lines that won you 5 games? I can always sub him back in if we lose 2 in a row, which is always my rule. But if we look at defense here, Travis Dermott out. And we can throw Wideman in. He's an offensive defenseman, but he's got some pretty decent defensive stats, so that's fine with me. He's listed as a 79 overall, so he is slightly better, not by much, but he's got that offensive ability, because I believe Jay Bouwmeester is a defensive defenseman. Yeah, so we have an offensive defenseman paired with the defensive defenseman, so hopefully that'll work for us and get us some more points down here on this bottom 6. Although, what was it, Kirby Reichel, right? Kirby Reichel with those 2 overtime goals sealing the deal for us. But I don't think I'm going to make many more changes than that. I think I'm going to leave everything as is, and as promised, I will show you guys the New York Islanders, what they are looking like. I believe I checked them out last time, and they didn't scare me as much as the Tampa Bay Lightning would have, because the Tampa Bay Lightning have those ridiculous first lines. But we'll go ahead and just check out the Islanders one more time, see if I can remember correctly. And yeah, they no longer have John Tavares because we signed him and shipped him off to Vegas. But they do have Eberle, Barzal, and Nyquist up there, Zuccarello, Henrique, Josh Hosang. I mean, it's a good team. Don't get me wrong, it's a good team, but it's not one I would fear with a bunch of 90 overalls that can just take over and carry them. And defensively, they look pretty weak. So defensively, they're weak, but they're obviously getting better because they have guys like Ryan Merkley and I guess Pulak. I mean, no, actually, maybe they're not getting better. Nope, just kidding. They're not getting better except for Merkley, so they might have that stud defenseman in a few years, but they already have Matthew Barzal, who, like I had mentioned before, is not putting up a ton of points. So I think this second line is the one I'm most worried about. I feel like it can do some damage against our second line, but as far as the first line is concerned, it's not as impressive as I thought, because they did go to 7 games now, guys, and they are only getting 5 points up there in that first line. I think that comes from the defense not being too great, but like I said, for our defense, I am going to sub in Wideman instead of Dermott, and we're going to go ahead and see how this thing goes. Game number 1, home against the New York Islanders of round number 2, boys. Let's get it going. First period. And the Islanders' first line comes to bite me in the ass and scores the first goal of the series, as I am shit-talking their first line, not calling them very good. And yeah, so they're up 1-0. But second period, and we answer back Thomas Tatar, the deadline acquisition, and we are out shooting them as well. And Nazem Kadri, there we go, boys, gets the second goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs here just at the start of this third period. We get a power play opportunity, but cannot capitalize, as the shots are just about even for either team. I do think these teams are pretty evenly matched, and because neither team really has too many superstars, although we do have Austin Matthews, who hopefully will do really, really well, and Morgan Riley. But there we go. It's a defensive showing for both teams, as I'm talking about both teams not having great defense, and it's a 2-1 victory for Toronto, most importantly. Frederik Andersen back in net. Man, I am not giving that guy his due, and now look at Frolik up there with 5 points, so interesting to see that what is he, on the second or third line? I think he's on the third line, or is he on the second line? I can't remember. But he's not a top player for us, so nice to see we're getting some depth scoring, and you need that. But I also don't want him to lead the team in points. Although if he goes off in the playoffs, I'm going to let him go off. But I don't necessarily want him to be the superstar of the team, because we have Austin Matthews for a freaking reason with Marner and Nylander and Riley. If one of those guys led the team in points, it'd be justified in saying I'm paying them this money. But I guess Frolik could be good too. Whoever's going to put in points, I'm not going to stop him. First period, and I would like to stop the New York Islanders from putting in points, though. That's less than ideal if they put in points here. Jordan Eberle and Beauvillier. Eberle gets a goal again in the first period. Can we battle back in the second, just like the second period of game number 1? We cannot, and it's still a 2-0 lead for the Islanders, and they are severely outshooting us right now. Oh, man, yeah, they got us by 10 shots. And Josh Ho-Sang on that second. I told you guys I was scared of that second line. There's Josh Ho-Sang. Eberle now it's 4-0. And here come the goals for the New York Islanders. Now, I want to check who was a big minus this game, because I know we're not going to come back. I mean, we could come back and win. If we do, that's nuts. But I don't think we're going to. So I want to check out who is the minus player and who maybe I should look to. I mean, I don't want to really look to move too many players around, but if something's not working, something's not working. And it looks like Liljegren and Moore are not working as a pairing. That pairing does not look to be good, although everyone was pretty much a minus in a 4-goal game. But maybe look to move Liljegren. Liljegren puts up points. Maybe swap Moore and Bouwmeester, but Bouwmeester is not. Oh God, I'm just thinking about our defensive core. So let's go ahead and take a look at the defense real quick. Moore and Liljegren. Maybe is it Liljegren? Liljegren's putting up. I mean, they're both plus. I mean, Moore's not putting in any points. Like, that's, and Bouwmeester's a -2, but I'm going to give it a shot. Lefty, righty, lefty, righty. We'll flip those two guys so that we got everyone. Now, we got two lefties on the first line, but I'm okay with Shea Theodore there. He should really be playing in the middle pairing, but unfortunately, we don't have the kind of defensive talent that I'm hopefully going to grow and acquire. Maybe Ty Smith can grow and be that, but he hasn't grown for a little bit. And speaking of growing defensive pairings, let's go ahead and scout in Russia for 2 weeks. Just forwards at 2 weeks. No big deal. It's 1-1 in the series. It's not even like we're losing or anything. I don't want to play the game. It's not like we're losing or anything. It's just... they have 94, 92, 88. So they have a good offense. Like I said, they have a good offense, and that's what I'm worried about. I don't want our defense to get overwhelmed, but their defense isn't that great either. So, I'm going to stop talking and stop trying to analyze what the simulation is going to do. So we'll see just what it does here. First period. Now we're playing at the Barclays Center in New York, Brooklyn, baby. Second period. And, all right, Morgan Rielly scores, but Cizikas as well, and it is 1-1 heading into the third period. Another close game. The only game that hasn't been close so far was that second game of the series, and Austin Matthews, there we go, the top talent. It does step up for us today, as both Rielly and Matthews going and getting goals for us. I don't know who else got points, but come on, Freddie Anderson. I believe in you, bro. The second I say something about Frederik Andersen, he gets scored on, and we are headed to overtime as Jordan Eberle scores with just 2.5 minutes left in the period. Forces overtime here on home ice. These fans are loud, they're raucous, but can we shut them up? Come on, boys. I know we can. We got some offensive pressure. I can tell we're putting on more shots than they are. Keep the puck in their zone. It's the best defense. When the puck's 200 feet from your net, that's the best way you can play defense. All right, we take them over in shots. That doesn't mean much, though. It just depends on who scores the next goal. Is it going to be Kirby Reichel again? Is he going to be the overtime stud as we head into a second overtime, boys? Double overtime here in game number 3 in a pivotal series, and it's Willie Nee, baby, William Nylander. And all three of the 4 stars that we have go ahead and step up for us, and I assume Mitch Marner got some points. Liljegren got a bunch of points too. He got 2 points, so that's good to see. Nylander, Marner got an assist. Rielly got his goal, must have been unassisted, or maybe assisted by Matthews, but hey, there we go. And let's see, who was the big minus? Zach Hyman, Brown, Theodore, and Rielly. Rielly was a minus. Interesting. So it just looked to be there's no really consistencies there in that data. So we'll keep it rolling here as we take the double overtime winner, and hopefully we can get the morale up, because apparently the morale of the middle 6 guys and everyone down, dude, you're getting ice time again, so quit your bitching. But like Nylander and those guys didn't seem to be too happy. Hopefully we can get happy and hot at the right time here, though. A crucial game number 4 here. Can we take a 3-1 series lead over the New York Islanders and really put ourselves in a good position to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals? First period, and it is a good start as Hyman scores, but we do let Letty score just 2.5 minutes later, or a minute and a half later, whatever that is. And it is 1-1 at the end of 1. Shots are even at 12 apiece, so that's not bad, but come on, let's go, boys. I'm liking the offense. I like the way these games are going. It's not like we're blowing teams out, but it's not like we're falling way behind or being dominated in any kind of stats or anything. We're playing solid hockey. We're getting decent wins, and we're just moving on to the next one. Nothing flashy, boys. Let's just get it done. Second period. All right, nothing flashy as we get really outshot. They are outshooting us by a lot, but Thomas Tatar, the deadline acquisition, does give us the lead, and Thomas Tatar, the deadline acquisition, gets us a 2-goal lead. And then Nyquist and Henrique score. Wait, did they score 21 seconds apart, and then Nyquist scores shorthanded to punish us for not scoring on the power play, and then Nelson scores here in this third period, and now we're down by 2. We went from up by 2 to down by 2 as New York scores 4 unanswered goals in this third period, and it's now a tied series, boys. It is 2-2 in the series. Now, something happened that game. What the hell happened? We had a bunch of pluses. Brown, Hyman, Bennett, Bozak. Brown, Hyman, Bennett. That's a line, isn't it? Ooh, do I want to change it up maybe a little bit? Do I want to weaken the fourth line? Do I... Ah, man, and I gotta make some changes. Otherwise, if we go down 3-2 and I decide to make changes then, we're putting ourselves really far behind the 8 ball. Can any of these guys take face-offs? Hyman can take face-offs. You know what? Hyman up there. Bozak's going to play on that third line. He's a two-way forward with a playmaker and another two-way forward, but a shooting two-way forward who scores a decent amount of goals. So hopefully Connor Brown can score some goals for us. I'm not asking him to do that. Hopefully Austin Matthews can pick his ass up and get a few more points this game because he's been quiet. He's been very quiet. I know he's got 7 points in 9 games. We've only played 9 games now. But now would be a great time for him to go ahead and just take over. This is when you need your stars to step up. Is now 2-2 series, game number 5. The winner of this puts themselves 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Finals. And that'd be a great position to be in. First period. And there we go. So Barzal does score on that first line, but Austin Matthews answers back. Moore, who I've been hating on because he doesn't put up any points, scores a goal. In the deadline acquisition, Thomas Tatar goes ahead and scores as we have a 3-1 lead after 1. And we have doubled them up in shots, too, after the first period. Now, will the second period be more of the same? And it is more of the same. Bozak, Hyman, Brown. Oh, my goodness, boys. And 6 goals on 20 shots. And that should have chased Grice, I bet. I bet Grice is no longer in there. Shea Theodore scores shorthanded. Bozak scores maybe shorthanded. I think that one might have been shorthanded or pretty darn close to shorthanded. They get a power play, but it is 8-1. Whatever this is working, boys. 8-1. We have just found the back of the net. Our goal scorers have scored goals. My goodness. I want not all events. I want goals in all periods. So we got Jesus, look at this. Bozak, Theodore, Brown, Hyman, Bozak, Tatar, Moore, Matthews. Barzal opened the scoring, and then after that, 8 unanswered by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh my God. That is just ridiculous. We just went off there, and I would not be surprised to see Austin Matthews. I'm actually surprised to see Austin Matthews only have 1 goal, but Morgan Rielly, Bozak, Brown. Man, these two guys playing together, rewarding me for moving Bozak up from the 4th line, putting him on that 3rd line by giving us a fantastic game there in game number 5. I said that was a crucial game, and now we're up 3-2. Boys, we're 1 win away from moving on. If we can take this one in New York and not have to head home, that would be fantastic, although I'm not saying there's anything wrong with going home. I'd just like to go on to the next round right now. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Can we stay as hot if we were as hot as we were last game? We don't need to put in 8, I don't think, but if we can put in like 4, 3 by the end of regulation would be nice. Maybe 4 would be fantastic. But more importantly, we need to keep them off the scoreboard like we did. We only let Barzal score the first goal of the game, and then they were done. They were silent. Well, New York answered back on home ice. Ooh, nothing so far in this first period, so they cool us off, but they can't get their offense going. It's been 3 periods the Islanders have not scored a goal, and I just jinxed it, so second period? No! That's 4 periods, and the trade deadline acquisition, Thomas Tatar goes ahead and gets 2, and Nikita Soshnikov on that 4th line, so something is clicking with his offense now, boys. Now these lines, these combinations are working. Let's go. And the New York Islanders have gotten shut out for 4 straight periods now. The second, the third, the first, the second. Can they get one here in this 3rd period or risk being shut out for 5 straight periods to end their playoff lives this year? As they had multiple power plays but could not score, but neither could we on hour 1. There's 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, and they have been shut out for 5 straight periods. Frederik Andersen with the shutout this game in a huge game number 6 that pushes us to the Eastern Conference Finals, as all 3 goals came in that second period there. And as far as points, Kadri, Liljegren, Tatar, Riley has been killing it. Reichel, Soshnikov. Riley has been really the story, I think, this entire series. I think Morgan Riley, when I called out the stars, naming Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and them, look at Liljegren up there as well. Mitch Marner, yeah, I would be disappointed if I were Mitch Marner too. And we will be taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets next round. The only thing we're waiting on is this Western Conference. Is going to be the Oilers, Ducks, Blues, or Jets headed to the Western Conference Finals with a trip to the Stanley Cup potentially in the making for one of those 4 teams. I can't believe Liljegren is leading the team in points here with 10. I don't think we have any studs that are leading the team in points. I mean, we just got solid points coming from all angles, boys. And in the West, it is the Oilers, Jets in the Western Conference Finals, and we will be taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. So, since this video has only been going for about 15 minutes now, let's go ahead and check out what the Columbus Blue Jackets are icing as they head into, I'm not upset about this. I'm not too afraid of this. They got a weaker first line. I mean, Wenberg is good, and Panarin is also good. How have they been putting up points? 8 points, 9 points. I don't know how many games they played. Cam Atkinson putting up 12 points, so apparently I'm dissing Atkinson, even though he's been their best performer there on that first line. Then you've got Bjorkstrand, you got Granlund, and Thomas Vanek, so they got Mikael Granlund and Thomas Vanek. Then you got Boone Jenner here. Ah, man, that's what it is. They got depth scoring. Oh, it's because they got Nick Foligno on their third line, man. And then their fourth line is Stenlund, Luc Dubois, and then Josh Anderson. So I think it's this middle part right here that's mostly getting them through. I mean, the first line's doing all right. It's not a fantastic first line, but neither is ours. I mean, ours has got some decent players, but they're not really putting up points. Neither are they. But their middle six here is putting up a bunch of points just like ours. And then now defensively, that's what scares me about them. Ryan Murray and Zach Werenski, and then Seth Jones and David Savard. I mean, Gabriel Carlson and Jack Johnson. That's a very solid. I mean, we got Morgan Riley, and that's about it. And then they have Shea Theodore would be playing like Savard, and the rest of it they just got us outmatched. And then in goal they probably got Korpisalo at an 85. Okay, 85 Korpisalo, so he's not fantastic. Frederik Andersen has been playing lights out. And he's good. That's what you expect from a good goaltender in the playoffs, but you got to get that hot guy, get that guy who is killing it right now. And I think our guy, Frederik Andersen, who I've not been given enough love to, is I think he's going to steal the show, boys. I mean, our first line on paper should be better than theirs, but the middle six is where I don't know. I just don't see it. I mean, we've been scoring goals. I mean, we got lots of points here. Thomas Tatar, I knew he was going to be a goal scorer. We had to pair him with the right guys. And then here, this third line really figured it out, and the fourth line, I think, is now clicking. But defensively, they would run roughshod all over our defense. I mean, our defense, basically, Liljegren puts up points, and that's about it. I mean, Morgan Riley there as well, stepping up in that series. But Liljegren, there was something clicked in that middle six, though. I think I found something here. And now goaltenders, I mean, Frederik Andersen, I mean, the man has been fantastic. 205 and a 935. Now, he's playing just better than Frederik Andersen, but he's playing just better than Jonas Korpisalo, but man, Frederik Andersen has been playing well in these past couple games to seal the deal for us. And Steve Mason hasn't played, so that's good to see. I'm glad to see Steve Mason hasn't played yet. But Heinen here, Danton Heinen, I could bring him in. I don't think he's not played in the playoffs. What's his poise? His poise is an 81. That's pretty good. As far as these guys down here, Kirby Reichel was the OT hero. Zach Hyman and maybe Nikita Soshnikov. I mean, I don't know who I would take out. Maybe Zach Hyman if I'm going to take anybody out. Because I would like I mean, he's a reliable defender. Anyway, you know, I'm not going to change any of the lines, I don't think. You guys let me know if you want to see something different, if you want to see me maybe move somebody here or there. But I'm pretty happy with how these lines are working. Liljegren leading the team in points during the playoffs, so that's pretty interesting. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.